Hi there, good afternoon, and welcome to another session where you can ask us anything. So you remember we did that a few weeks ago. So this gives you an opportunity to clarify all your doubts in one go from any faculty. So if you have any question, any concern, drop it down in the chat box below and we will address it straight away.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. So welcome to the session once again. And as Vikrant sir said, we had this session before as well. Where you had asked many questions to us. Rather, at a point we had to stop the session. We could not take it more. We had other classes as well. I hope it goes on like this only today as well. Whatever questions are there regarding CAT exam, your preparation, or anything else, that you have in your mind. So please ask us.
Yes, do not hesitate in asking anything related to any of the entrance examinations. Okay, you might think that this is a silly doubt, but do post it. Probably you'll be helping other students as well.
Good afternoon, everyone. Like as the other people have said, drop in your queries.
Okay, so let's start posting your queries, and we shall be taking all these queries one by one. Victor? So Vikrant sir, I want to ask that, Vikrant sir, do you remember me? Okay, so this is the question.
Yes, Victor, your screen name earlier used to be Vaishnav. Nowadays it is Victor. I wonder what your screen name will be next time around. So let's see.
We say yoga.
Let's see. Let's see. Pata nahi yaar, but I like this one more. No? Victor reminds me more of victory. So that's what I wish for you and everyone else. Hi Sonali. Sonali is also very regular in all the sessions. So that's really very nice.
I see her almost in every session.
Gautam Hello, Gautam.
All right, so it's time to post some queries. Good afternoon, greetings to all of you. So any query related to CAT examination, CAT registration date has also been extended up till 20th of September. So some of you who are doubtful about filling the examination form, like Naveen sir, you can ask.
First question is there.
Okay, so sir, 2024 batch will when launch? Okay, so Amulya, we have already launched batches for CAT 2024. So,
two of them actually.
Yeah, two batches have already been started.
Two of them are already going on.
And if I'm not wrong, it's been more than 2 months. The students have already started preparing for CAT 2024. So registrations are already open. If you can, so how she can contact any of
it's actually very easy. Go to BYJU'S Exam Prep app. On the homepage itself, no, on the very first slide, you'd find this button called Talk to Our Counselor. Just press that and you'd be connected to us. So it's actually very easy.
You'll be getting a call. So go ahead, do that and quickly start your preparation.
Saket, shall we meet you in near future? Absolutely, yes. Come over. Sarah, I'm finding DILR very difficult.
Okay. So Sarah, yes, DILR, I agree, it is a difficult subject. Even Quant and verbal RC are difficult. But all these things can be made easy if you are doing a regular practice. So do everything systematically. If you are an aspirant for CAT 2023, you have very less amount of time left. So in this amount of time, what you must do is you must look at all the topics which appear in CAT examination. We have covered most of these topics in our free lectures on YouTube as well as our application. And do proper amount of practice. Join our test series, and in that test series, attempt all topic-based tests, sectional test for DILR only, and you will be good in this area. All right. So practice is the key to be strong in any areas that you want to.
White ball, 75 days. Is that enough? So first up, I don't know what an average student is. So you are what you are. For the next 75 days, just show up to work, give your best. And for a major chunk of the students, which is how we'd probably define average too.
Yes.
I think if you give your best, you definitely want to get great results. So just start your preparation. And Anjali, any tips for CAT 23? Very nervous, mock percentile. 3 things. Number 1, be consistent. Show up for work every day. Do not miss out on any single day. Number 2, now that we have comparatively fewer days available, I want you to work on your weaknesses. So write your mocks very regularly, see which areas you are consistently making a mistake in, pick up some of those areas, work hard, fix those, and then take it up. And 3, since you said that mock percentile is 10 down, I said stop using emotional language for your percentiles. Scores are low or high. They're never good or bad. Okay. So do that, and I'm sure that should help you.
Okay. So first of all, I would like to take the query of Sara Anand, some strategy for DILR. Okay. So Sara, a simple strategy. Note down all the topics which have appeared in last 5 to 6 years of CAT examination, right? So the topics like groupings, arrangements, matrix, games and tournaments, Venn diagrams. So list down all these topics. Okay. Make sure that you understand the basics of these topics. If you don't, give yourself next 10 days and tackle to the concepts, fundamentals of each and every topic one by one. After you know all the basics and fundamentals, then make sure that you are practicing at least 6 sets on daily basis. Okay, so that means you are devoting 2.5 hours to 3 hours on DILR regularly. DILR is just a game of practice, building a momentum. So once you have built that momentum, you will be able to sail through the examinations properly. Okay, so this is the only tip that I can give you. Mohan, sir, I entered 5th semester results in the form, but recently I got my 6th semester result. As my 5th semester 8.6 CGPA, but now it is 9.04. Good that you have improved. What will be the change anything while selection? What will be change anything while selection?
So first up, can you really go ahead and change it in the form? I don't think it is an editable column. There are only 3-4 areas that you can actually edit. So nothing else can be done. And since nothing else can be done, let's not even worry about it.
Right. Also, at the time of admission, like even if you cannot change anything, at the time of admissions, definitely they'll be asking you about the results. So you'll have to confirm all these things later on. So you'll get a chance. You do not worry at all. Saral sir has something to say.
Yeah, there's something that I want to talk about here, that your CGPA is 8.6 and now it has become 9.04. So when you look at the selection criteria of all these IIMs, they give different marks according to your percentages. So you might get into an area of higher marks if you put 9 point something over there. So this might be beneficial for you. For that purpose, you can do one thing, because the date has been extended. You can probably reapply to CAT. Of course, you have to spend another 2,500 rupees for that, but it might increase your chances a bit of getting into these colleges, in my opinion.
No, but that will happen only if 9.04 CGPA translates to more than 90%. No?
Oh, yes. I mean, if that is multiplied by 10. If it is multiplied by 9.
Otherwise, it may not matter, but let's see.
So what you can do is you can look at the conversion criteria of your university, the respective university. It might be given in your mark sheet, or you can visit the website of your university and understand the criteria, like understand how you can convert CGPA into percentage. If you are able to cross the benchmark of 90%, then you must fill another form for CAT. You should apply, because you'll be given some extra marks.
Okay, then Kaushik, VARC approach. See, personally, I in fact start with the VA section. So I'll tell you the order in which I approach the VARC section. I start with para summary. Then I go to RC, where I solve 2 to 3 RC passages. After that, I go back to VARC, where the first thing that I generally look at is odd one out if available, then para jumbles, and then para completion. Now, this is an approach that works for me. It allows me to warm up properly and maximize my scores, but is that going to work for you? I don't know. Just try it in the sectionals. So my reasons are para summary, I use that as a warm up for RCs, and odd one out, I use that as a warm up for para jumbles. So experiment in your sections, in your mocks, but then over the course of next 3 to 4 weeks, I want you to firm up on some strategy that is useful. Then quant cutoff, Sonali.
Sonali, sectional tips to get sectional, quant tips to get sectional cutoff, not too good in quant. Sonali, you are not that bad in quant as well. Okay. You are a little above average, as in you do better in more than half of the questions. So I'll call that very good. Okay. So you have to just target 7 to 8 questions and make sure that they are all correct. So 100% accuracy with just 7 questions, which is around 1/3 of the total number of questions in Quant, right? Parimala, it is really difficult that if you start preparation for CAT 2023 right now from the scratch, and you will be able to crack it. I mean, obviously there is nothing called, passing the exam or losing the exam, right? Failing the exam. It's more about what kind of score and what percentile you can get and which colleges you are going to be eligible for. So obviously, if you start preparing right now, it can be, as low as you can get into a tier B college, and you can get into a top tier college. Okay. For CAT 2024 DILR preparation, so Amulya, start solving 3 to 4 sets every day of LR. Start with DI only once you are done with arithmetic topic in Quant, as in percentages, ratios, averages, proportions. Once you are done with these topics, then you will be able to understand DI better. But when it comes to LR, you can start it any day and make sure that you solve 3 to 4 sets on an average. Do not time it. As in, do not try to solve every set within 10 minutes or 15 minutes. Right now, you are learning. You are trying to see how to approach a particular set and what are the shortcuts involved. Look at this solution in the next, if you're not able to solve in the next 15 or 20 minutes, let's say, or maybe in the next half an hour. Look at the solution, how they have approached it, try to get cues from it, and then use it in the similar set in the next time when you attempt another set. Prakhar.
Ezel has this question: if we fill the CAT exam from now, are there any chances we will get the center in our city? No, Ezel, it has got no relation with that. The date has been extended. It can only be useful to those people who made some mistake in their form, and that mistake is big enough that they want to change it. So you can reapply to that. I think that is useful for those people or those people who have missed it. Otherwise, it has no relation with the test centers. So Prakhar is saying something, sir, in BYJU'S All India mock, I got 55 marks. So how much can I expect in the actual exam? So exactly, I can't say that, Prakhar, but I can surely say that whatever score you get in these mock tests, you always have a positive swing in your actual CAT exam. I mean, generally it is there. Of course, by surety, we can't say about anything. But mostly there is a positive swing. There is a basic reason for that. That in CAT exam, all the people who write the exam, approximately 250,000 people would be there. 80% of them are actually not that serious about their studies. But here, when you are writing mocks, you are actually competing with those guys who all are preparing for CAT. Right? So by that logic, you can say you are already above approximately 70-75% of the people when you go into the CAT exam. So you can always expect a better score, a better percentile over there.
Okay. Gaurav sir has also taken.
In
fact, Gaurav sir has taken a session yesterday, right?
Yes.
If I'm not wrong, which
CAT percentile versus mock percentile mapping.
So we've actually addressed this in great detail.
So we have covered all these things in that session. So who was the student? Prakhar. So Prakhar, you can go ahead and watch that session, and you'll get to understand like whatever percentile that you are getting in mocks. What can be your actual percentile in CAT examination. So like Saral sir said, there is always a positive swing as far as percentile is concerned. Okay.
White ball, what should I do for VARC? Yeah, if you're targeting CAT 23, then at this juncture you need to prioritize, focus on reading comprehension, and obviously we get paragraph based questions in RCs. So within RCs, I want you to focus a lot on main idea questions. I want you to focus a lot on identifying the assumption and inference questions. So master these 3 question types first. Additionally, in some of our previous sessions, you'd find a genre analysis, which talks about the subject matters that have been asked more frequently. So if you are not comfortable with any of those high frequency areas, please make sure that you start reading long form articles or introductory texts from those areas, and that should generally do the trick. On the other hand, if you're preparing for CAT 24, that's a different scenario altogether, and we took a session on this some 3 days ago. You'd find it under the live sessions here. Sake, DILR
looked really easy at the beginning, but coming close to CAT, it has become tough.
Jayant's question.
Jayant is asking some important topics of DILR. Okay, so important topics for DILR, I have already mentioned a few minutes back. So matrix arrangements, matrix and grid, arrangements and puzzles, Venn diagrams, 3-set Venn diagrams, 4-set Venn diagrams, and the questions on games and tournaments. So these are some important areas in DILR. Now, one of the students was asking how to start the preparation for DILR if I am a CAT 2024 aspirant. Now, the topics that I have just mentioned a few minutes back, these are important as far as CAT is concerned, but you cannot start with these topics if you're starting your preparation for DILR. So you need to build up your basics, your fundamentals. Now, logical reasoning always starts with easy topics, but these topics does not appear in CAT examination, but in other examinations. So you can always start with the coding, decoding, series, direction senses, blood relations. So ये जो easy वाले areas हैं, you can start your preparation with these areas, build up your fundamentals, and then switch to topics like linear arrangements, circular arrangements. So gradually raise the level of difficulty if you are an aspirant for CAT 2024.
Victor wrote only 9 marks as of now. Victor, you've been preparing for a while, so I expected this number to be higher. But then, see, let me put it this way. It is important for you to write mocks regularly. So from today onwards, make sure that you write one test every 10 days. So let's start with the All India Open Mock 2. Or if you're a student here, Mock 15. So let's begin with that and then take it up from there. And gradually, we may increase the frequency as well. Kaushik, we have Aditi, how to start for TISNET. So I can cover English. You can perhaps then talk about. So the level of difficulty of the TISNET English is relatively lower. It's an easier paper, but the syllabus is wider because you would also get grammar and vocabulary based questions. So if you've been focusing on the CAT so far, absolutely amazing. Now start adding grammar and vocabulary to your preparation matrix and you should be good to go.
Okay, Kiran has this question. Sir, I'm starting my preparation now in quant geometry is going over my head. So, Kiran, if anything is going over your head, just leave it. I mean, geometry is not arithmetic. Let me put it straight. Arithmetic is the most important area for us in quantitative ability, followed by algebra. Geometry comes third. So if you are not able to understand anything, so probably it might be actually be just, keeping your confidence as well down in quantitative ability. It is better to leave it at this stage. छोड़ के just go on arithmetic and algebra. You can work upon the other, topics like number system and modern mathematics as well. But do not leave arithmetic at any cost. Just keep that in mind. If someone says that I am not being able to do arithmetic, you have to do something about that. There is no escape from that. But yes, here you can do this. Geometry can be left at least. This can be done. And Jayant is asking, sir, level of difficulty for quant questions will be hard or moderate, though no one can predict it at this stage, Jayant. But yes, going by the previous year's trends, the papers that have been designed by IIM Lucknow before this, actually the papers have been slightly on the easier side. Rather, if I talk about the last 6-7 years CAT papers, the easiest paper has been of CAT 2017, and that was actually conducted by IIM Lucknow itself. So by that logic, we are assuming, I repeat, we are assuming that exam is going to be slightly on the easier side. Plus, keep that in mind that LRDI section has always been difficult whenever IIM Lucknow has made it. But please keep all these statements with a pinch of salt that these are the things that we have seen in the last 3-4 years, 3-4 times when IIM Lucknow conducted it, and 3-4 times does not make any pattern. So it does not mean that always the same thing is going to happen. It also depends upon the convener who is there. Right? There is a possibility the person who was the convener when IIM Calcutta did it, and the same person went to IIM Lucknow, he became a convener over there. So, of course, his own choice would also matter. So, there is always a possibility that this might happen. Okay.
What should we not do during CAT preparation? What should you not do, really?
Stay away from dogs.
Essentially, yaar, तैयारी करो यार.
Stay away from distraction.
Exactly.
तैयारी करो basically तो बाकी तो frankly just work hard and that's.
Okay, Jayant, please do not spam. And I think this question has been answered by Gaurav sir. Gaurav sir answer कर चुके हैं इसका. So what should we do?
Arnav has had to pose this question again. I think we missed out on that.
Sir, if DILR does not go well, it affects quant as well. These overall downgrades the entire score. Any suggestions to deal with that? One suggestion, Arnav, from my side, that whatever is happening, it is happening with everyone. right? So I agree with that quant is the third section, LRDI is second section, and probably the IIM authorities have deliberately put it there. They probably want to check this skill in you, that if you do not do good in a particular area, does that affect your performance in the next section or not? Probably this is their way of checking it, right? So therefore they have put it there, and I've seen that many of these students are actually struggling in quantitative aptitude only because of this, that once that LRDI goes bad, right, they start feeling that probably now our exam is gone, we have not been able to do good, so now probably quantitative ability would also be like that, and therefore even in easier papers of QA we have seen very lower cutoffs. I mean, the score versus percentile shows at a lower score you get higher percentiles just because LRDI was on the tougher side. So probably that's a way of checking it. I mean, it's just like a real life situation. Let us say I am into a business, I started a business, I did not do well over there, I had to close it. So am I strong enough to start the new business afresh, completely afresh with a new mindset? Can I do that? If I can do that, probably that would also be visible in my pattern of that exam as well, that if I'm not able to do well in a particular section, am I able to just leave that and start afresh in the quant section? Start doing this in your mock tests, right? Just look at all three sections as three different sectional tests. One sectional test is VARC. Even if you score 0, it does not matter, right? There is a next sectional test, which is LRDI, and the next sectional test is QA, and that way when you look at it, probably then you can do better in QA.
I'll tell you what I do, that when I am not able to solve a question, all I do is I smile and move over to the next one. If I'm not able to solve that either, I smile an even wider smile. So the whole idea is, there is a question on the screen, I'm meeting it for the first time, I can either solve it or I cannot. When I let go of it with a smile, it puts me in the right frame of mind for the next one. That's all that we can do. And then Bhagat Singh, sir, mocks mein number nahi aa rahe hain, to bhai mock dena band kar de. Problem solve हो जाएगी, या फिर अगले 60 दिन ये भूल जा कि तेरे घर में सूरज किधर से उगता है और पढ़ाई में डूब जा, आ जाएंगे. Then what is this ABC method that
how to choose DILR set using ABC method? What is that ABC? Did we discuss that ever? I don't know about this ABC method. What exactly is that? कुछ होगा शायद.
Then Kaushik, RC, how to choose right RCs. Okay, so Kaushik, see, basically, of course, identifying your strengths beforehand is always useful. But at the end of the day, you need to take care of just two things. Number one, look at your level of familiarity with that passage in terms of the subject matter and in terms of the language that is used. The more comfortable you are with the subject matter and the language, the easier it will be for you to go through that. And see, it is possible for us to come across an easy passage from an area that you're not familiar with, mainly because the author has done a wonderful job. Okay, so just look at your level of familiarity. And thereafter, the second thing that I want you to do is become excellent at all the different question types in RCs, so that by the time CAT arrives, question types become an irrelevant parameter for us. So do that, and I'm sure you'd actually go ahead and do really very well. Virender, can we expect at least one easy, two moderate? Yes, Virender, normally if you look at the trend, you typically find one passage which is easy. Although, can I say that for every single year? No. So just take it at the face value. Yaar. As we say in the cricket, look at the ball and play. So go ahead, look at those passages. If you can solve them, great. If you cannot, great. It's better not to carry those preconceived notions in general.
Right.
Mohan, yes. You can fill another form with the same photo, but you cannot use the same mail ID and phone number. Everything else, of course. And besides, yaar, you cannot really go and get a surgery done, no? मतलब क्या face का reconstruction थोड़ी करवाएगा यार, वही डालना पड़ेगा दोस्त. So डाल दे, चिंता मत कर. Gautam, suddenly so many VRC questions. That's nice. I'm currently scoring 30 to 35. Gautam, if you're scoring 30 to 35, it basically means that by and large, you're doing a major chunk of things right. Now you need to get an extra 2 to 3 questions right. That should be a first target, right? So have you identified any pattern in your mistakes, any trend? So maybe there is a question type, let us say strengthen and weaken, where your accuracy rate is still hovering around 60-70%. So just look at a pattern where your accuracy rate is consistently below 70. Start focusing on that. If you want to know how, get in touch with us during our sessions if we haven't covered that so far, and hopefully that should take care of it.
Okay, now Kaushik, you are asking, you are a student of batch 9, DLR majority concepts covered, and you have started solving previous year questions. Is it a good decision? What's our take? So yes, it's a good decision. So since you know about every topic, you have done the basics. So now if you have switched and solving and have started solving previous year paper questions, so definitely solving them will give you an idea about what type of questions, what level of difficulty was there in the last few years. Okay, so it is always good to know the realistic things that are going to happen in your examination as well. Now you must finish previous year paper questions as soon as possible. I would say that if you will be solving the papers of last 6 to 8 years, that should not be taking more than 7 to 8 days. Every day, 1 year can be completed. Okay, 1 or maybe maximum 2 days. In 2 days, you can complete 1 complete year, because last few years there have been 3 slots, but the number of questions utna hi hai. So 1 day, 1.5 day on an average, you must complete 1 year. In the next 6-7 days, you must finish the last 4-5 years of CAT papers, and then also simultaneously you must be taking sectional tests as well as the mock papers. It's not that you will be completely indulging yourself in solving the previous year paper questions only. All right. Now, one of the students earlier asked how to solve DILR using ABC approach. So I've been using this ABC approach since I've been taking mock papers or any of the CAT examination. So ABC approach is basically so A is abhi karna hai question, B is baad mein karo, and C is chhod do. Okay, so basically you can divide the questions in these 3 categories. So I've been using this particular thing for Quant as well as DILR. For Quant, it is easy to use this strategy. DILR thodi si difficult ho jati hai. Okay, and but whosoever has used this strategy, any of my students, they have succeeded. Okay, so you will have to practice this strategy in mock papers before you actually apply it in CAT examination. So based on how much comfortable you are in any topic, based on the length of any given set or any given independent question of Quant, you can take a decision. So abhi karne wale question kaun se honge? Like immediately, you have already started QA section or DILR section, and you encounter a set in which, like the topic in which you are very strong. Let's say I'm very strong in games and tournaments, and the question's length is also not very high, very large. So you can take a decision and get into that set and solve it.
और लाइफ में KABC करना है. इसमें K है, किसी और से करवा सकते हैं. नहीं तो फिर ABC.
Right. So DILR में थोड़ा सा ये gamble हो जाता है, because in DILR once we get into the set, then only we'll understand if we'll be able to solve it or not. So why not spend 1 minute, read one first paragraph of that logical reasoning set, and then take a decision immediately. Now this decision should come in 1 minute or maximum 1.5 minutes. Normally what students do is they start reading a set, they invest 2 or 3 minutes, and they are afraid of coming out of that set. My say is, do not be afraid even after you have spent 2 or 3 minutes, maybe 5 minutes. So after spending 5 minutes, you get to know that you don't understand anything in that set. Immediately come out of that set rather than spending another 5 minutes going in vain. Okay, so ये decision जब भी समझ में आ जाता है, decision लो and come out of that set. Quant में ये वाली टेक्निक बहुत अच्छे से काम आती है, because Quant में independent questions होते हैं. You'll be able to decide in less than 10 or 15 seconds if that question belongs to your area of strength or area of weakness. All right, so this strategy will always, like most of the times, it works. Okay, over to you, sir.
What else do we have? Kiran, I'm scared of giving mocks. See, for me, mocks is basically standing in front of a mirror. A lot of people, when they develop their public speaking, they're asked to record themselves. When we are not good at it, we hate to do that. But then, once you start recording, and it won't even take long, just record yourself a couple of times and you start noticing these things that can help you improve. So anybody who is 100% committed towards improvement, even when you're scared, it's okay to stand in front of a mirror, which in this case is writing mocks. Things should be fine. And Kiran also says she's an average student of math. I could not understand
Logarithms.
Somebody can tell you. Srividya Shah, does laptop is necessary for CAT exams? It's good to have familiarity with the computer screen, laptop, desktop, tablet, whatever. But is that an absolutely critical thing? No, but a bit of familiarity won't really hurt. So even if it means that writing a mock, maybe going to some computer lab somewhere, once a week, once in 10 days, even that should work. So log.
Naveen sir, would you like to help student? Kansa. Which question?
Srividya.
Okay. Kiran,
Srividya to
logarithms.
laptop is not necessary, but it's good to have it. Okay.
So, yes sir.
Then Parimala, quant, normal question, LOD 2, LOD 3 is a struggle. So.
Yes, Parimala has this question. Sir, when I do quants, my normal questions, I do good, but when I start doing LOD 2 and 3, I go blank. Still, I know the basics. Parimala, let me tell you one thing that we have seen CAT for last many years now. So when we talk about the quantitative ability section, let's say, you just divide the questions into 3 categories. One are easy questions, one is moderate, and one is difficult. Let me tell you, if you just do all your easy questions correct, you will get around 85 to 90 percentile in QA just by doing easy questions. So if you are saying that I'm not able to do LOD 2 or 3 questions, that's not a problem. Your basics should be in place. You should be able to do all the easy questions. Even if you are able to do that, mark my words, you are definitely going to score more than 85 percentile. Okay, then Kaushik says, should I give more focus on sectional individually to get better score in full length mocks? Kaushik, see, different people have different strategy. I mean, what they adopt. So some person might see the test in totality. Some people look at it as a 3 sectional test combined together. So I actually look at it at 3 sectional tests combined together. And I always find that useful for me. But as I said, it's a very person specific thing. So what suits you, you can check that through the mock exams. Mock mein jo aapko acha lage, just use that in the actual exam as well. Kiran keh rahi hai, I was an average student of maths. I could not understand log. Kiran, you can leave it. See, I'm not saying log is not an important topic. Log is an important topic. But if you have already given it a try, and you have tried to do the questions of logarithm, you could not understand it, just leave it. It is not that big a topic. I mean, it's not arithmetic that I would say, okay, leave arithmetic. That you cannot afford that. But leaving logarithm can be avoided because ultimately there would be 22 questions in quantitative ability. Out of 22 questions, not more than 2 questions would be on logarithm. There might be 1 or 2. So if you are not comfortable with that, you can leave it. That's not a problem. Okay? Yes, I.
Good.
We have now our Guruji here, so he'll talk about other things.
Okay, so log 1 is done. Okay, how to raise level of proficiency in algebra now preparing for CAT 2023? Well, Kaustab, you need to start working on level of difficulty 1 and 2 only. Don't look into more difficult level. Hi, Ankit. So don't look at more difficulty level questions. LOD 1 and 2 is more than sufficient. Start using values in place of variables. Do some of the important topics in algebra. The first one being linear equations in 2 variables up to 2 variables. Linear equations in 3 variables. Quadratic, sequences in series, a bit of graphs. Logarithm, again, it depends from person to person if you're comfortable with logarithm or not. And functions treat functions as sequences in series. That will be better. Okay, you do all of this and your algebra will start improving. Next one is what can be our most important topics for quant? You're talking about important topics in quant. The 2 most important topics are arithmetic and algebra. Get done with it and you can score a 98, 99 percentile. Okay, the next one is about all RCs. sir ji, आइए
VRC,
आपकी
when I
बारी।
read paragraph, not able to identify main theme, that's okay. Start with para summary questions, okay? Para summary questions will teach you to identify the key idea of every paragraph. And thereafter, an RC passage is just made up of 3, 4, 5 paragraphs. So if you are able to take out the key idea of every paragraph, you're done. In fact, there is a particular activity that I normally advise. You start going through a passage every day. Once you are done with the passage, put the passage aside, pick up your notebook, write down 3 things about that passage using your mind. Number 1, the subject matter of the passage. Number 2, the purpose of the passage. And number 3, the key idea of every paragraph. Do it every day. It is a skill. Do it every day and you should be fine really very soon. Kiran, in VRC, I understand the passage, but I'm not able to answer the questions. Kiran, I have a friend who believes that he's a very good singer, but when he sings, people generally don't like it. What does that tell you? So the trouble is, he's not a good singer. He thinks he is. Similarly, we at times feel that we are able to understand the passage. But we don't. That's exactly what the questions are designed to check. Test. So see if you can learn something from those mistakes. Acquire the relevant, related abilities, techniques, skills, and it'll actually be all right. Well, the starting point is when we are not getting these right, there is something wrong with our comprehension or our reasoning. So get the right lesson out and then work accordingly. What else do we have? Yes, you notice our window of All India Open Mock 2 is open. So please make sure that you write it at the earliest. Anything else which is English specific that you see here? I think most of the people are again mostly LRDI में एक सेट से ज्यादा नहीं बन पा रहा है मॉक में. भाई तुझे बताऊं, मॉक में हम लोगों को भी LRDI के सेट बनाने में बड़ी दिक्कत आती है तुम्हारे लिए यार. तुम्हें भी वही रहे तो ठीक है.
Okay, so Gautam has asked this thing. LRDI का एक सेट से ज्यादा नहीं हो पा रहा है solve mock में. So Gautam, first of all, that means you need to have a basic understanding of all the topics. Okay, so there can be different problems that you are facing if you are not able to attempt more than one set. So one is your fundamentals are not clear. Second is you might be wasting a lot of time in deciding which set you want to pick up in actual mock examination. Okay, so there can be various problems. So I don't know what your problem is, but you need to do a proper analysis of LRDI section in every mock. So first of all, pick up last 4 or 5 mocks that you have taken. Do proper analysis of DILR section and understand what the problem is. Are you unable to understand any mock? Are you wasting any time in selection? Okay, or you have entered a mock, you have entered a particular set and you are wasting 10 minutes, 15 minutes and then ending up leaving that set entirely. So understand the problem, and then if you are weak in fundamentals, start studying all of them. If you are wasting a lot of time in taking a decision which set you should pick, so based on your strength areas, start picking up the set in any of the mocks.
And just to add with Gaurav sir, let me tell you, people who did just one set last year in LRDI had an 85 percentile in it.
Right.
And the second thing, which might again be very important for all of you, no college in India, including IIM Ahmedabad, Bangalore, Calcutta, have a sectional cutoff of more than 85 percentile. That means if you are doing one complete set of DILR, you are actually clearing the sectional cutoffs. You are already above that. Start thinking in a positive direction. I mean, do not think that I am just able to do one set. You should be looking at it this way. I am always able to do one set. The moment you are able to do one set, that means you have already cleared the cutoff. After that, it's not necessary you do all the sets. Now, that's a very important point for all of you. Somehow we feel that in LRDI, I should be able to do one set or 2 sets or 3 sets. Why are you looking at LRDI in terms of sets only? Do one set, after that do 1 or 2 questions in one of these sets, 1 or 2 questions in the other set, and try to do all the theta questions at least, because that does not cost you anything. Even if you get 2 more questions correct, apart from one complete set of LRDI, that will take you above 90 percentile easily. So just look at that. What are the areas where you can improve slowly, right? Of course, the concept is important. As Gaurav sir said, just analyze the paper completely. Look at all the topics. Practice them well. वो सब जरूरी है. I'm sure वो शायद आप कर भी रहे होंगे. But at the time of exam, please understand this, that one LRDI set is not bad. Right? You can still do some 2-3 questions and easily sail through till 90-95 percentile. That is pretty much possible.
Right.
अंकित कुछ कह रहे हैं सर क्वांट सॉल्व नहीं हो रहा है. ठीक है, सॉल्व नहीं हो रहा तो सॉल्व मत करो, सीधा आंसर मार्क करो और आगे निकल जाओ. अंकित इज अ फ्रेंड बाय द वे, सो ही जस्ट आई मीन So how to raise level of proficiency in arithmetic algebra now preparing for CAT 2023 Kaustubh? Of course, to raise the proficiency level of anything, I think the first step is the concept.
Absolutely.
Right? The concept should be in place. The second step is practice, just implementation of those concepts that you have learned. Mostly people have a problem in actually interpreting the questions. What I have seen, that sir, we have done percentages, हमने lecture देख लिया, we have studied the chapter, we did some questions as well. But जब mock का question आता है तब solve नहीं होता. And what I have generally seen, the problem is not in solving, the problem is in interpreting that what is to be done. What is the question exactly asking you? What has been given to you? How do you relate with them, right? Though once we do the question, we give you the solution, you say, sir, अब समझ में आ गया. तब कैसे आ गया, right? It's just that it was not clicking to you. And that generally happens in most of the questions. Work on that part, it will be better then, I'm sure.
Right. Virendra, ABC method seems similar to same as mark for review. Definitely this option must be used, must be utilized in mock or in actual examination. But if you'll be spending your time in coding with different colors, no, don't do that. So basically A means abhi karo, all the questions that you will attempt there and then, take a decision. Anything that you want to do later on. So let's say you think that the topic is easy, moderate, doable, but the question is lengthy. So those questions can be marked for review and you can attempt them later on. Okay. Also what you must do is you must use your rough sheet properly. Okay. So मैं क्या करता हूँ, like the questions, the numbered questions, I'll write those numbers on the first sheet that I get, the questions that I want to attempt later on. Okay. And I preserve that sheet. जनरली क्या होता है ना, हम 6-7 शीट्स ले लेते हैं और हम मिक्स कर देते हैं, बट आई ऑलवेज प्रिजर्व माई फर्स्ट रफ शीट. Okay, and I write the number of those questions which I want to attempt later on instead of because I do practice this thing in mocks. That is why I'm able to implement. So if you'll do the same practice while attempting mocks, you'll be able to implement this in your actual examination.
पूरा mock का जो color code होता है ना, उसकी तरह काम कर.
Yeah, so right. Kaushik has this question, any useful approach that you guys apply in Quant, so I also can try it in mocks. The approach that we try, that whatever question comes, we do it, and we do all the questions in 20 minutes and go out. So we are extremely good at it. We are just like God, right? But the point is, does that help you? I mean, every person has a different approach of doing it. So what approach I am using, right? It's actually dependent upon what is my target. So my target is not to get into the IIMs or any good B school. My just target is to just go out of this and to take the analysis of the paper. So I try each and every question. It does not make a difference what am I trying. Rather, it does not even make a difference to you what your friend is trying who is preparing for CAT. He might have a different strategy. You might have a different strategy. And for all those things, I mean, what strategy suits you? For that, we have these mock tests. And therefore, we keep telling you, please try these mock tests, please analyze them well, so that you get to know what suits you the most, right? So this question is like that, what shoes you are wearing, what is the number of your shoes? So what we are wearing, does that apply to you as well? Of course, everyone has a different choice, everyone has a different taste, different size. वो सब अलग-अलग होता है. So ABC method in VARC and then again something about reading speed.
Okay.
So there are two questions regarding.
So Neeraj, you can crack CAT. You can get 70 percentile. Yes, if you're starting now, you can even get 90 percentile. It totally depends on what level is at which you are right now sitting. कितना समझ में आ रहा है अभी, कितना समझ में नहीं आ रहा है, and also the efforts that
70% 30 दिन में आ जाएगा यार, उसके ऊपर
विक्रांत सर को लेके जाओ,
सपने तो बड़े थे यार.
70% आराम से आ जाएगा. Dream about 98-99% achievable.
What is the good number of attempts in VARC? Okay, more than 18 questions with more than 80% accuracy. And that should basically put you most of the years above 99 percentile in VARC. Bhavna, can I get CAST certificate within 1 or 2 days? Yes, you can. You just need to find the
president.
You just need to find the right office and the right person. And I mean, at the end of the day, the certificate does not take more than 5 minutes.
Right out.
So you just need to be at the right place. Eventually, ABC method in VRC white ball, exact same thing. Yeah, I think that ABC which Gaurav sir has enlightened us about is not limited to just DILR. You'd obviously do that for every question. So yes, always end up over attempting. In mocks, okay, I start by attempting 24. Okay, so since you're saying 24, I'm assuming that you're talking about reading since you've mentioned reading speed. You have reduced any tips. So, Yash, what is the exact concern? And what do you mean by over attempting? So, I think there are a lot of subjectives here.
More negative.
So, if it's already something your accuracy rate is something that you're not very happy with. So, considering that you've already reduced the number of attempts, just let us, if that fixes it, I think that's good to go. What else? Kostub. Level of arithmetic algebra has already been talked about, right? I think. For backup, which form should we fill except for the CAT? Do we have a session planned on that? We should have.
We already had.
We've already
IFT is not going to happen this year, so that is not there. You have got ZAT, you have got SNAP, you have got NMAT, you have MHCET, you have got TISNET, you have got MyCat.
And forms, I'm assuming they're talking about colleges. So you'd cover MDI Gurgaon, SP Jain Mumbai.
I think we can have a session.
We actually had
the mock percentile, which all colleges they think.
I think we'll go and conduct a session on this if it hasn't happened yet. And they'll give you a detailed answer because then we'd have to map these various colleges along with the percentile. So the general principle is you would definitely like to apply to 2, 3, 4 colleges in that percentile bracket that you expect to get. A couple of colleges above that, a couple of colleges below that at least, and then that should essentially cover the entire spectrum.
For well-focused question topic this time by I'm Lucknow by your perspective. In Quant and LRDI, there is nothing of that sort. So what about
same with that. See, nothing much.
कुछ नहीं ऐसा कुछ नहीं है. Lucknow बना रहा है, Ahmedabad बना रहा है, कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता.
Well, does percentile differ in case of getting score? Okay, so no, it's only your normalized score that counts and not your level of accuracy. Saral sir, a question for you from Kaushik.
Tips
regarding aptitude in quantitative aptitude. Aptitude in quantitative aptitude. Nice.
Quantitative ability.
Sir, वो वाला
Ability, okay. Quantitative ability.
वो God वाला repeat मार देता हूँ फिर मैं. अच्छा, उसके पहले most important topic in algebra, it's going to be linear equations in 2 and 3 variables. Any tip regarding
quadratic
linear equations? एक पूछा उसने. हाँ. Most important topic.
Most.
And topic, not
Linear.
Topics. So linear equation in 2 and 3 variables. Linear equations. Sir, any tip regarding aptitude in QA?
See, there are no specific tips. We have already discussed some of the questions in that series of Quant to Saral. So there also the basic funda was this only, that if you go through the questions of that series, so aptitude is no subject you can say that you can read the theory of it and you can understand. It's just the way of doing questions. So the way of doing questions, you cannot understand that way that, okay, there are some lectures through which you can understand it. So I would just suggest that watch that series if you have not seen that. So there in those questions, I mean, the way we have solved them, probably you can understand a little bit about it. Yes, what is the next question? Mehul kya keh rahe hain? Does percentile differ in case of? I think this has already been answered. Uske baad kya hai, sir?
How to make notes from mock?
How to make notes from mock? Victor, I think probably you are trying to say that how should we analyze and what do we take out from mock analysis? This is exactly what I feel that you are talking about. So basically, mock analysis is to get to know that where are you going wrong, what mistakes have you made, and what were you thinking while doing those mistakes during the exam. For example, I have chosen a question which was extremely lengthy. During the exam time when I was doing it, why did not I leave it? What was I thinking? Right? So all those things you can decide by yourself, and later on just make sure that you do not make any such mistakes again. Plus, there would be some easy questions which you just left What were you thinking at that time? Possibly you left a question just because you thought that this is from an area which I do not like, but the question was extremely easy. There can be hundreds of reasons. So that is the analysis that you do. Make notes of that, and then make sure that you do not make the same mistakes next time in your exam. And whatever you have missed this time, right? So you must be doing them in the next. Sir, in Quant, should I do focus on number system, modern math, geometry, Jain Dua? These three, I would say, are the least important areas. Of course, arithmetic and algebra has approximately 70 to 75% weightage in QA section alone. So if you're talking about, CAT only, from CAT's perspective, I would say the least important area for you would be number system and modern maths. These two can be skipped, but yes, geometry, arithmetic and algebra, they all must be done. But one thing, when I say these areas can be skipped, skip does not mean that the moment I see a question of number system, I'm going to skip it. Even if they ask me what is 2 into 3, I'm going to skip it because a number system. If the question is easy, I should be able to do it. Skipping means just do the basics of it. If the question is easy, do it. If the question is difficult, leave it. That's what we mean by that. Please start Quant to Saral again. Yes, we will again post the same videos because there is no point doing that again. So we just put recorded videos at that time only. So we will again start that. That also can be done. In LRDI sets, how to decide which parameter we should fix in table first when set is of the multi-parameters and we have to connect all parameters with each other. Shubham, go on. In that case, you start with the parameter that has been talked about the most. For example, he says ABCD are 5 people. They have these 5 colored t-shirts. They are from these 5 cities and they have these 5 cars. So what is it talking about? So is he talking about the people again and again? That A is wearing this shirt, A is not from this city, B is wearing this colored t-shirt. Or he's talking from city's perspective. The person from Patna is wearing this colored t-shirt. The person from Chandigarh is wearing this colored t-shirt. So अगर जिसके बारे में बात ज़्यादा होती है, you always take that as a mother row and after that you start making it. Okay, so
Scoring 65
about
marks,
VRC.
but these marks are not improving.
I'm scoring 65 marks, but these marks are not improving. 65 are not bad, vocab king. I would just say that analyze the paper. This can be improved. Why would it not improve? If you get the proper analysis, the exam is of 198 marks. You are getting just 65. Of course, that means the other 133, you are missing somewhere, right? So in those 133, what were the easy areas probably that you could have done in that time? Or if there is no other time left for you, iska matlab aapki speed abhi kam hai, improve the speed. So do that proper analysis and work according to that. So are all these questions to me only? No one else is good.
One question for you.
Yesterday, if false, contradicts, except. Okay, so you're supposed to look for an answer choice which contradicts author's argument. So basically, false and except will cancel each other out. So choose something that can be labeled false on the basis of the information provided in the passage. Then Suraj, VRC score is very poor. What should I do? Okay, well, I think Suraj also sent a message earlier. He says he's scoring 0 percentile. Suraj, it's all right. When our scores are low, I don't even call them poor. There is nothing called a poor score. Scores can be low or high. Low scores simply means that we need to start with the basics. Okay, so just check. Are you reading regularly? Are you solving around 10-12 passages every week? Are you working on some of those specific question types? Have you gone through critical reasoning to master assumption and inference? So start with those basics, and I'm very sure your target right now should be that when you sit for the mock exam, in the RC section, you have 40 minutes. Just focus on attempting 2 RC passages. That's it. And then analyze, learn from them, and then see what can be taken up from there. What can be learned from there. Rahul, sir, can you answer my question? What was Rahul's question?
Rahul's question
10th,
is...
12th, no, will it be a problem? Not really. I think when it comes to FMS, they give 5% weightage to your 10th scores, 5% to your 12th. There is no weightage for graduation. So that's about it. In the overall scheme of things, FMS...
प्रॉब्लम जानना पड़ेगा ना, उसने 10th अगर नहीं दिया हो तो.
नहीं, वो तो 10th 12th ग्रेजुएशन पूछ रहा है, तो हाँ, ये अजम्पशन तो ले रहे हैं. मतलब ग्रेजुएशन 10th 12th ग्रेजुएशन किया होना जरूरी है. ठीक है.
क्योंकि उसने कुछ मेंशन नहीं करा, उसने बस बोला प्रॉब्लम है. प्रॉब्लम तो कुछ भी हो जाएगा.
अदरवाइज यार वो 5% वेटेज है. बाकी द रिमेनिंग 90% डिपेंड entirely on what is yet to come. 60% of the weightage is given to the CAT scores. Another, I think, 15% to the personal interview. Another 5% to extempore. So I think 90% of it is still ahead of you. Focus on that and don't worry about anything else.
VRC score is -1 in mock. What should I do? Suraj, अभी तो 0 चल रहा था. अच्छा 0% है.
It's okay. अरे वो हो जाए.
-1 स्कोर पे 0 नहीं आएगा. बच्चे हैं जो -3 -5 पे
0% ज्यादा आना चाहिए. सॉरी 0% पे नहीं आएगा उसमें.
तो ज्यादा ही आएगा उसमें.
0% मतलब लास्ट
वो नहीं
होगा यार. -1 पे 0 तो नहीं आता. ऐसे और कुछ नहीं यार. बेसिक्स से शुरू.
Aim will it affect my admission? Also I will be getting new NCOBC in 4-5 days. No idea. Aim what you are talking about. And because obviously we are answering every question. People asked about LRDI important topics. Please go back 30 minutes ago. You will go through it. Algebra, some people asked about important topics. Again, go through the video. Some people asked about 10 questions which they should be able to solve in Quant. So the 10 topics are going to be, or 10 types of questions. One is going to be time and work. Another is going to be averages, profit, loss and discount. The next one is going to be a quadratic, sequences and series, logarithm. Then you are going to have question on triangles, question on area. These are 8. The 9th one being, I'm not sure about numbers and higher maths. ठीक है, let's go to arithmetic, back to arithmetic. TSD का एक question, TSD नहीं कर रहा था ना?
TSD
काउंट नहीं हुआ था.
Mixtures allegations.
Average कर लिया उधर.
Okay.
And one more question is going to be a very miscellaneous one. Maxima, minima in algebra or modulus या inequality, इनका combination कोई भी. These are the 10 questions जो आएंगे. ठीक है, यहाँ पर वो बुकमार्क कर लो, मेरे को कोट कर लेना.
Anything that we missed out on? Gaurav sir, could you just check if there is any other question that we missed out on?
That's it. These are some last set of questions.
Quant हुआ सरल was satisfying, soothing and effective. LRDI, VARC हुआ सरल too. कर रहे हैं यार, नाम ये नहीं दे रहे, कर तो रही है. हाँ, बाकी सरल सर कोशिश करते हैं उससे करवा दे एक बार. VARC हुआ सरल करवा दे.
But it matter to solve graph questions. Survi, it's okay. It's okay.
Shabash says my mock scores are very inconsistent. Okay, Shabash, as far as VARC goes, inconsistent scores, okay, fluctuating scores would typically indicate that we are using a lot of intuition instead of using a lot of reasoning. So stop using intuition. Make sure that you have a very sound reason for picking up the answer choice that you mark as your answer, and that should generally take care of it. QA, DILR, I think our other experts can talk about. What should I do for summary questions? Right, well, if I look at it, the CAT summary questions are actually not summary questions in reality. They are more of a main idea question. So read the paragraph, take out the main idea in your own words, then go to the answer choices, start using the elimination approach. And when I eliminate, I first and foremost look for, is there any option that has some distortion? I may also look for, is there an option that has some addition or deletion? Addition is introduced something that is not even mentioned in the paragraph, right? So look for those things and that should generally lead you to the right answer.
Can I attempt 3 VRCs and all VA to score 40 marks with 80% accuracy?
You can.
आराम से हो सकता है. बस 80% accuracy maintain करना.
80% accuracy है तो
difficult part.
easily 99% आ जाएगा.
आराम से.
और 40 marks तो खुद कैलकुलेट कर लो यार, क्या कर रहे हो?
Okay.
20 सवाल 80% accuracy यार वो तो.
अब टॉप में आ जाएंगे. Saket has a doubt. I'm reading local English newspaper as well as New York Times. Do I switch to Aeon essay and Guardian, or should I?
Saket, yes, switch over to areas like, or websites like Aeon Essays and Guardian and Scientific American, etc. Bring in a little more variety. And the English newspaper, although it will help you in RC, we don't consider it practice for RC, okay? But all of these other websites, yes. Just bring in a little more variety. And maybe add a bit of book reading in between.
My mock QA scores are very inconsistent. That will remain inconsistent, Shahbaz. Do you think your everyday is it goes on the same pace? You have the same set of incidents that follow through every day. It doesn't happen, right? So every mock level of difficulty, it changes. We make sure that no two mocks are of the same level of difficulty, so that we prepare you for all the types of combinations of questions or the level of difficulties that can come in CAT. So obviously it's going to be different. because it's going to be different, you're never going to be consistent. In 2 or 3 mocks, you will be scoring. Gradually, the scores will be increasing, and suddenly there will be a drop. And drop generally happens when you are at your peak. So when you are scoring somewhere around 55, 60 marks, suddenly your score drops to 25, 27. That happens because one of the 2 reasons: either the paper was actually difficult, or you got very much complicit.
Did we answer Vocab King's questions? If 65 marks, probably Saril sir did that, no?
हाँ वो कर चुके हैं. Vocab King का answer हो चुका.
Is there any video on para completion? Yes, there is. You'd find multiple videos on para completion. Yeah, just look for. We'll see if we can also make a playlist out of that. Naveen sir, mock QA scores. अच्छा, you already.
वो कर लिया वाला.
Batch 10. Can I attempt MAT? Absolutely. Yeah, you can. Sushri, there is no harm in attempting.
I mean, they should
or writing more exams. It's absolutely okay.
They should.
I mean, normally I say, if the exams do not charge money to sit for it, we would probably attempt all the exams. Right? So it's more of an issue that is related to the budget than anything else. If you can afford it, I don't see why you shouldn't.
और एग्जाम देने के बाद, एग्जाम देने से पहले जो थोड़ी फटती है, वो भी है.
Okay, what else? So I guess we've kind of run out of time. So Vocab King is sending that message again and again. Has it not been answered?
Already
65,
answered.
I think that question was already answered by Saril sir. Yeah?
Video में 10 minutes पहले जाओ, you will be able to see it.
Sushri, I think your question has also been answered. Yeah, Mohan Srinivas sir unfortunately is not here at the moment. But Mohan, so what is the concern? If it is reversed, it is reversed. It's all right. What you thought is your strong area did not turn out to be as strong as you thought it should be. So get the right lessons from it and see if you can prepare for it. Aim how to prepare for CAT and SNAP together. As far as English goes, you just need to work on grammar and vocabulary, which is, by the way, something that you should already have been doing. If you have not been doing that, start doing it. And for
as well as
Quant,
logical reasoning is concerned, there are some extra topics that you need to prepare apart from the topics that you prepare for CAT. So in logical reasoning section, topics like coding, decoding, sequence series, blood relations, odd one out, Venn diagrams, all these basic things will also be asked in logical reasoning section of SNAP and Narsi Munji. Okay. Otherwise, if I talk about QA section, it's just the level of difficulty. Okay. In CAT, you will find CAT QA section to be heavy on algebra and arithmetic. In SNAP examination, Narsi Munji examination, all the areas are equally important. So you will find questions on modern maths as well, questions on geometry and questions on number systems in these examinations. So that is the difference.
So I guess that's it for today. It was absolutely amazing catching up with you guys. If you have more questions, please make sure that you join a Telegram group and then you can pop these questions there. And even otherwise, we may not be together for a single session here, but we are here almost every day taking you forward. So with that, all the best for your preparation. Do not hesitate in reaching out to us. That's it from us today. Take care.
Have a nice time.
Have a great day.
Bye-bye.